Husband dumped me by text. I'm off to Miami with my 20-year-old. Accounts cleared, haha. I replied, good luck. He learned my trick late. I gave everything away. The text came while I was helping a customer at my Seattle boutique. I'm leaving you for my 22-year-old girlfriend. Moving to Miami. Emptied our joint account. Haha. My hands didn't shake as I read it. My voice stayed steady, guiding Mrs. Larson to a silk scarf. Only a slight tightening around my eyes betrayed that my husband of 12 years, David, had just torched our marriage via text. I waited until Mrs. Larson left, her purchase wrapped in our signature teal paper, before typing back. Good luck. I'm Ellen Harper, 38, and I just received the cruelest goodbye imaginable. But while David was likely gloating, picturing me in tears, I locked up my boutique, calm as ever. The signs had been there for months. Late work nights that didn't match his deposits, new passwords on his phone, his sudden obsession with the gym, new clothes chasing a youth he'd lost. 3 months ago, I'd found a receipt for a $200 dinner for two on a night he'd claimed to be working late. That same day, I opened a separate account at a different bank. When he suggested combining our accounts to simplify things, I agreed cheerfully, moving my personal savings to the new account. The joint account he'd just emptied held just enough, 2 months of regular deposits, to keep him from suspecting. The rest was safe, along with records of every shady transaction he'd made over the past year. My phone buzzed again. Don't beg. Jessica, and I leave tomorrow. I'll send for my stuff. Jessica, his firm's new receptionist. I'd met her at the company holiday party, watched her laugh too loud at David's jokes, her hand lingering on his arm. She was young enough to be his kid, naive enough to think she was unique. I didn't reply. I called my lawyer, hired 2 months ago after finding hotel charges on our credit card. It's time, I said. He made his move. Papers are ready, she replied. I'll file tomorrow. Serve him in Miami? No rush, I said. Let him think he's won. Another text from David. This must be hard. You're not getting younger. At least your little shop will keep you busy. My little shop, the boutique I'd built from nothing, out-earning his mid-level accounting job, its profits meticulously kept separate. I smiled, thinking of the certified letters awaiting him in Miami. I spent the evening in my house. Mine, inherited from my grandmother, kept in my name despite David's nagging to add his. Another instinct that paid off. Sorting papers for my lawyer, I found our wedding album. David looked different then. Before his midlife crisis turned him into a caricature, tight shirts on a softening gut, slang jarring from a 45-year-old's mouth, trying to blend with his office's 20-somethings. His texts kept coming, each more arrogant. Planned this for months. Jessica gets me like you never did. You'll be fine. Maybe find someone your age. Told my family. They agree we grew apart. Nobody's fault. I screenshotted each one, adding them to my evidence folder. His casual admission of premeditation, his glee at emptying our account. My lawyer would eat it up. The last text stood out. Used the joint card for our flights and hotel. My parting gift. LOL. Perfect. I called the credit card company. Mrs. Harper, how can I assist? Report fraudulent charges and cancel a card. I listed 2 first-class Miami tickets, a Royal Palms hotel booking, and removed David as an authorized user. Proof of fraud. Texts from my husband admitting he used the card for travel with his girlfriend after emptying our account. I'll forward them. The representative's tone held a hint of satisfaction as she voided the charges. David and Jessica would land at the airport tomorrow to find their tickets and hotel canceled. Another buzz. Don't worry about the house. I'll let you stay until you find something smaller. I laughed out loud. Did he think he had a claim to my grandmother's house? Had his ego erased the deed in my name? Another text. I know the shop means a lot. We'll work out a fair payment for your half. My half, of the business I'd funded and built while he called it a hobby and griped about my hours. I poured a glass of the good Pinot Noir I'd saved for a special occasion. This was it. Tomorrow, David would learn about separate assets and property law. Tonight, I savored the quiet, planning my next chapter. Morning brought frantic texts. What did you do to the credit card? Airline won't honor tickets. Hotel canceled. Answer me. I silenced my phone and opened the boutique. Fridays were busy, with new cashmere sweaters to unpack. Life moved on, even when your husband runs off with a receptionist. Around noon, his mother, Diane, called. Ellen, David told us everything. How controlling you were, how you pushed him away. He says you're sabotaging his travel. I put her on speaker, arranging a window display. Did he mention emptying our joint account and charging tickets for him and his girlfriend on our card? Silence. He said you left him no choice, that you've been cold. Diane, I have his texts. Want me to read them? The one where he brags about taking our money, or the one mocking my age? A pause. He was cruel. I told him that text was wrong. I appreciate the call, Diane, but my lawyer advises minimal contact with David's family during proceedings. Proceedings already? Goodbye, Diane. By afternoon, David's sister, Rachel, was spreading gossip via mutual friends. David and Jessica were stuck in a budget motel near the airport, their Miami plans derailed. His personal cards, maxed out for months, were useless, another red flag I'd noted. My lawyer called. Emergency hearings Monday. With his admission of emptying the account and credit card fraud, we're set to freeze all remaining assets. He hasn't been served yet, but papers will hit his motel soon. His girlfriend's social media is gold. She's posting about their adventure, including jabs at you. I grinned, thinking of my year's worth of receipts, hotel charges, and texts proving premeditation. David was so caught up in his escape, he never saw me watching. Another text. Think you're smart? I copied the boutique's financials. Half that business is mine. I forwarded it to my lawyer, another nail in his coffin. Let him learn about separate assets the hard way. Sometimes, the best revenge is being prepared. Monday's emergency hearing was a masterclass. David showed up in a too-tight blazer and designer jeans, screaming midlife crisis. Jessica waited outside, her youth stark under the courthouse lights. My lawyer laid out the evidence. David's text admitting he emptied the account, the credit card fraud, a year of hidden expenses. Your Honor, David's lawyer stammered, my client made rash choices, but Mrs. Harper's actions were vindictive. Prudent, my lawyer countered. She protected her assets and documented her husband's suspicious behavior. That's smart, not vindictive. The judge eyed my records, the house deed in my name, the boutique's incorporation papers, the strict separation of finances David had mocked as obsessive. Mr. Turner, the judge said, you admitted to emptying a joint account and using shared credit cards for a trip with your girlfriend. Do you deny this? David squirmed. I wanted a clean break. By committing fraud, the judge raised an eyebrow. And you claim rights to property clearly separate from marital assets? The business grew during our marriage, David's lawyer tried. My client is entitled. The business was established before the marriage. My lawyer cut in. With strict financial separation, we have every penny accounted for. David's face fell as reality hit. He thought he'd empty our account, run off, maybe claim half my business. He never understood why I kept things separate. The court finds evidence of financial misconduct, the judge ruled. All shared assets are frozen pending dissolution. Mr. Turner must return funds removed from joint accounts within 24 hours. That money's gone, David blurted. We spent it. Then replace it, the judge snapped. And Mr. Turner, this court frowns on funding affairs with shared cards. Outside, I heard Jessica ask about Miami. David's reply drowned in the click of my heels on marble, heading back to the business he never respected. The next weeks brought desperate moves. David claimed the boutique was his idea, said he'd invested in it, even called himself my partner. My records, meticulous as always, disproved every lie. He's panicking, my lawyer said. His girlfriend's social media shows they're in her tiny apartment now. A receptionist's salary isn't the Miami dream he sold her. David's family shifted. Rachel admitted, he told us you were controlling, that he had to escape. But his texts, bragging about taking your money, that's not the brother I knew. His mother called, tearful. The things he said about your age, replacing you with someone younger, I thought I raised him better. I let their calls go to voicemail. Their support was too late, like rats fleeing a sinking ship. The boutique thrived, boosted by local gossip. Women shopped to support me, often leaving with more than planned. My ex tried that, one customer said, buying a handbag. Men like him never expect us to be smarter. David's text swung from rage to manipulation. You've ruined me. I didn't mean to hurt you. You'll regret this. The business is nothing without me. I forwarded each to my lawyer, letting him dig deeper. Word spread. Jessica was rethinking things. Sharing her studio with a broke 45-year-old wasn't the romance she'd imagined. She posted about toxic relationships and scrubbed her relationship status. I almost pitted David, then remembered his haha after stealing our money, his jabs at my age, his assumption I'd crumble. Instead of pity, I felt pride in my foresight, my quiet strength, my preparation. The final divorce hearing was a stark contrast to David's smug exit. His cocky grin was gone, replaced by panic. Jessica was absent, now dating a coworker her age, per office gossip. David wore old clothes, his designer wardrobe sold to repay the joint account. His lawyer looked exhausted, grasping at straws. Your Honor, despite separate property, my client contributed to the business's growth through moral support. My lawyer scoffed, like these texts calling it a little shop or posts dismissing it as her hobby? The judge had seen enough. The settlement reflected my planning. I kept my house, my business, my assets. David got his car, worth less than its loan, and his clothes. You've destroyed me, he hissed outside. I'll live with my parents. No, David, I said. You destroyed yourself. I just made sure you couldn't destroy me. His mother waited to drive him to her house, his new home at 45. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. What were you thinking? She scolded as they left. Emptying accounts, those texts. I watched them go, feeling only relief. David thought his text would end our story. Instead, it launched my carefully laid plans. 6 months later, my boutique opened a second location. While David struggled, the little shop he'd mocked was thriving. I hired 3 new staff and launched an online store gaining national traction. Mutual friends shared updates. David tried dating apps, but women his age avoided a man living with his parents, and younger women, warned by Jessica's gossip, steered clear. His career tanked after an HR probe into his office affair led to a reprimand and a missed promotion. He claimed age discrimination. HR added it to his file. Rachel visited the boutique, apologetic. We believed his victim act. Seeing his texts, how he acted after, I'm ashamed. I nodded, letting her buy a scarf. Their family's shift meant little now. My lawyer reported David's failed petitions to revisit the settlement, each dismissed. He claimed the account text was a joke, she laughed. The judge asked if haha made theft legal. Local business magazines featured me, not as a scorned wife, but as a savvy entrepreneur. Young women asked for advice on separating business and personal finances. Preparation is protection, I told one who reminded me of Jessica. Trust your instincts. David's mother called about his gambling and pyramid scheme flops, his refusal to take responsibility. I don't know where we went wrong, she sighed. I stayed distant. Their drama wasn't my problem. A year later, I hosted a grand opening for my 3rd location. Media covered it, not for my divorce, but for my growing brand. Jessica stopped by, uneasy, clutching her purse. I owe you an apology, she said. I believe David's lies about you being cold, controlling. Then he tried manipulating me when things got tough. I arranged sunglasses, unfazed. Those weren't dreams, Jessica. They were escapes. There's a difference. I know now, she said. He wanted to move into my studio when you froze the accounts, complained about my closet, asked for a loan. 2 weeks of that and I saw it. I laughed. Big plans, no funds. Exactly. Always once his crypto pays off or once he gets promoted. She shook her head. I'm with someone my age now. Small apartment, student loans, but it's real. After she left, my assistant whispered. The girlfriend? No, I said. Just another woman who learned. 2 years on, I spoke at a women's business conference about building and protecting a business, not betrayal. A woman asked about separating finances. My husband says I'm paranoid, that marriage means sharing everything. Mine said that, I replied, until he tried claiming half my business. Protection isn't paranoia. My chain grew to 5 locations, employing 30, featured in national magazines. David, for friends, lived in a garage apartment, working a lower-paying job after his firm downsized. His dating profile, young at heart, used an old photo. Jessica, now a regular customer, ran a social media consultancy, inspired by my resilience. You showed me how to build something real, she said. I kept David's text framed in my office, not for pain but proof. Have fun with your little shop. It'll keep you busy in your old age. Below it, a business award and a sign. Success is the best revenge. At my flagship store's 5-year anniversary, David's mother attended, uninvited, in a dress from my boutique. I saw David yesterday, she said. He talks about his glory days, the life he could have had. He doesn't get that he didn't lose it in the divorce, he threw it away. I nodded, turning to a new employee, also named Jessica, with a question about inventory. In the store window's reflection, I saw not a woman aging, but one growing wiser, stronger, more successful. David's text was meant to end me. Instead, it began a story of triumph, not just mine, but every woman's who learned she deserved better than a midlife crisis.